Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for this episode. A lot of you guys have been requesting, John, can you compare the all-new Slowstar AI Easy Clean Juicer to the Hurom H70 Easy Clean Juicer? The main things these machines both have in common is that they are easy to clean because they no longer have the stainless steel juicing screen with 100 little holes in there that you have to clean out after juicing. This makes your whole juicing experience much easier for you. In addition, both these machines have a juice hopper that literally you load up with produce, shut the lid, and you can walk away and let the juicer do all the work without you. This allows you to juice more often and drink more juice with less work on your part, so you will be more compliant juicing your vegetables and fruits to get their health benefits. In this episode, we're going to deep dive into comparing these two machines to find out which one is truly better for you based on specifications, but also more importantly, in actual real world juicing. So let's go. So my name is John Kohler, and I've been running my website, DiscountJuicers.com, over 25 years now, selling juicers online as the #1 world's juicing expert. I've also been juicing myself for 30 years now and juiced all kinds of different produce items. I also have more videos on YouTube than anybody else in the world regarding testing juicers, unboxing juicers, so that you guys have the best information to make your juicing decision. I know some of you guys say, John, you're like paid off on this company by this company or whatever. And here's the thing, I have agreements with all the different various companies. And you know, no matter what juice you buy, if you guys use my coupon code or affiliate link, the companies will share a commission with me. So I don't really care which one you buy. The one I want you guys to buy, honestly, is the one that you jive most with or will use the most. That's what's most important to me because, you know, I've seen people spend a lot of money on a juicer, and even though it makes the highest yield, it's harder to use, and they're really motivated when they first buy it, they use it, and then it ends up like literally in a kitchen cabinet or even sold at a tag sale because they stopped juicing. And then guess what? Then they no longer get the benefits of juicing. That's why these two juicers are probably the main ones that you should consider on the market if you're a lazy person like me, right? If you guys started your gym membership or will start a gym membership at the first of the new year to lose weight, and you get motivated for the first few weeks, and you go to the gym every single day, but then after the first couple weeks you stop, going to the gym, and then you don't lose the weight, right? I don't want that to happen to you guys when you guys buy a juicer. In my opinion, when you buy a juicer with a juicing screen, you're going to give up juicing sooner than if you bought one of these machines that literally you can just spray down, and links down below to my videos where I show cleaning the Hurom H70. In the original unboxing video took me 60 seconds, and the original unboxing video, the Slowstar AI, took me 80 seconds. Once again, watch those videos in full length to learn more in detail about each of these machines that will get you to juice more often in 2026 and beyond. So here's the thing. The Hurom H70, as all the juicers before it, are basically, I don't want to call them dumb juicers, but basically they have a motor, they have an on and off switch. You could turn it on, you could reverse it, you could go in reverse, but basically it's either juicing or it's not juicing, or it's in reverse or it's not. Meanwhile, with a Slowstar AI just released late 2025, December 2025, so we might as well call this a 2026 release because you won't be getting them until 2026, is that this is the first AI juicer. You press the button on what you're juicing and it is optimized to juice that specific item optimally. In addition, if you put it in the AI mode, that's the artificial intelligence mode, it actually senses the resistance, against the motor, and then will speed up or slow down whatever you're juicing based on the resistance so that you get up to 15% more yield and less pulp, according to the manufacturer, which I will disclaim that I have not tested yet. So, in this episode, we're going to see, does it make 15% more juice than the dumb juicer that just runs at a constant speed? And, this machine runs at 60 revolutions per minute, which is very slow for a vertical juicer. And the Slowstar AI actually can vary its speed from 32 RPM, which is the slowest RPM for a vertical slow juicer, up to 60, depending on what you're juicing. Another major important difference between these two machines is that this has the standard AC motor, and if we lift this up, it's actually small but a little bit heavy, right? And this model over here has a brushless DC motor. This is a state-of-the-art motors, guys, that is controlled by microprocessor. And this machine is much, much lighter, doesn't weigh quite as much as the Hurom H70 with its standard electric motor. That being said, which one of these do I trust more? Well, I would trust the Hurom H70 more. Hurom has been making kitchen appliances for over 50 years now. They invented the first vertical auger juicer. They were first to market with the first hopper juicer. They know their motors. I've sold machines like 20 years ago that are made in the Hurom factory that people tell me, John, my juicer you sold me 20 years ago is still working today. It's time for an upgrade. Well, if it's time for an upgrade, then the H70 is the one you should upgrade to, and you'll know this motor will work for another 20 years probably, more than likely. I mean, both these machines have a full 15-year warranty. That being said, the Slowstar AI, I mean, it's a brand new machine. I don't know its track record. This is a brand new motor, and hopefully it'll be durable. I mean, once again, Tribest has been in business over, I think, around 30 years now, making and selling juices for over 25 years now, easily. And, you know, so they're definitely one of the best companies to watch as well. I mean, each of these machines have their own sets of pros and cons. I mean, I guess the main question I have is that, will the AI mode really make it a lot better than a fixed motor? And, you know, I would hope it does, but we will learn more in this episode. So in any case, first step is let's go ahead and find out how these juicers are different. And that starts with literally the juicing parts. Wow, this is interesting, guys. When I lift this up, this juicing top set is heavier than the Hurom H70 top set. Although if I lift these motors up, this motor is like super light now at this point. This one is still heavy. So if you have a challenge with lifting heavy things and you're going to move it on and off your counter, you know, then the Slowstar AI might be for you. That being said, you know, I recommend you guys leave your juicer on your counter so that it's out and you will use it more often. Of course, the Hurom H70 is the juicer I use most often and is my favorite juicer. I'll link down below to why. Nonetheless, these are the two hoppers. You can see one is significantly taller than the other, which is quite interesting because although this machine is, the hopper's taller, where the juice comes out is actually lower. That we'll talk about in a little bit. That's something I don't like about the Slowstar AI. But anyways, let's go ahead and start taking these machines apart. The first part to come apart is the hopper assembly. So both of them spin and turn, and you can move them off. You guys can see the hopper assembly on the Slowstar AI appears to be larger, but it's really not larger because what happens is this hopper is literally just a tube or a chamber, literally. And when we assemble this on, part of this hopper, maybe up to this line, literally is encapsulated some of the juicing parts and the bottom. So really we'd have to like raise this up to this point to really see the difference. And at that point, really, they're very similar. So Tribest rates the hopper size as 1.5 liters. On the Slowstar AI and on the Hurom H70, Hurom rates this at 1.8 liters. So this is a little bit larger hopper than the Slowstar AI hopper. Next thing to note is how do you get into these hoppers? So on the Hurom H70, it's like basically you put your hands around this, there's a little trigger lock. So press it like that and it pops up and then you can lift it up. And then on the Slowstar AI, there's basically a button here, which is even easier because literally just press the button and it pops up itself and then you can lift it up. So, you know, personally, I like how the Hurom H70 opens a lot more, which makes feeding it a lot easier than the Slowstar AI where the lid doesn't go up all the way. It still kind of maybe impedes you a little bit. In addition, I will say the quality of the lid construction, this lid is a bit more thin than the Hurom lid is. That being said, if we look into this hopper, they're both designed pretty much the same. They got ribbing along the sides. This is set to help kind of get things not to stick on the sides and funnel it in. This is completely open on the bottom. And the Hurom H70 is the traditional hopper. I can only say that you know, Tribest basically did the open model to not infringe on any patents that may be existing because, you know, Hurom, I believe, has some patents on this style design, where you have the processing blade on the bottom and then a little hole. And I will, say this shape of the hole is actually quite unique. You'll see it better if I flip it over the bottom. It's not a cutout on that's appearing on a lot of juicers, which I would say is like a dumb cutout, right? They specifically optimize this cutout so that it feeds in produce at the slow, moderate, and proper rate, and actually completely empties this hopper most efficiently compared to other vertical hopper juicers I've tested. And I've tested all the major brand hoppers. All right. So yeah, this hopper honestly is going to be easier to clean because literally it's just a tube. With this, there are some more nooks and crannies you will need to clean out. That being said, the way the Slowstar AI works is that the bottom of the hopper is actually the top of the auger that does the juicing. Right, so let's go ahead and just pull out the auger. This is the auger on the Slowstar AI, and this is the auger on the Hurom H70. You guys can see there's a pretty major difference between them. Number one is that this has the bottom plate of the hopper as well as the processing blade, which is 304 stainless steel. I will definitely say that is an upgrade over the Hurom processing blade that is made out of the GE Ultim material. I will say that both of them are quite aggressively designed, which is good. And actually, this is interesting on the Slowstar. Instead of being flat on the bottom, it's kind of curved in, so things kind of want to funnel down. I hadn't noticed that earlier in my earlier review because all other hopper style juicers that I've tested have basically a flat bottom, so this may help it be more efficient feeding things in. That being said, this blade assembly and base of the hopper is affixed to the auger there. So my issue with that is that there may be some harborage points where produce or juice can get stuck that you can't get in to clean. This is not designed to be removed, although you take off this little plug here and there's a little screw, which they probably don't want you unscrewing, because if you screw it and screw it back in too many times, it may just wear out. That being said, this seems a lot easier designed for me because literally this is just the auger, and the auger is a two-piece auger. This is a one-piece auger. The main difference between these, this is a lot heavier because of the stainless steel, and this auger is a lot more light because literally it's like hollow in the middle. I guess the other issue that I want to go over is the run. So basically, there's a little bit longer run on the Slowstar AI. What's the run? The run is how long is a produce being ground and crushed up so that juice can get extracted. And honestly, the Slowstar AI has a little bit longer run, and this may lead to higher yields because of that. And the Hurom H70 has a little bit shorter run. That being said, how the Hurom H70 is different than the Slowstar AI, and in my opinion, leading the field in screenless design juicers, is because this looks like a single auger, but basically it's a two-piece auger, so it comes apart. So as we put this together, you guys will see there's cracks. And when we put this together, there's slight cracks in between the two pieces. This is where the juice literally falls in out the bottom. And this allows you to not have to scrub any parts when you're done. You literally just have this two-piece auger to wash out, and then you have the juicing bowl. That's all there is. There's no other pieces of this. That's what makes this truly the easiest hopper juicer to clean. And why I love it so much. It takes me 60 seconds to clean. The produce goes in between the juicing bowl and the two-piece auger, gets ground up. The pulp comes out over here. The juice falls into the middle and then comes out over here. So it's a very simplistic and easy design. And literally when you're done, you have 1, 2, 3 parts to clean. I mean, you could claim this as 4 parts if you want to take it apart. But basically you have 3 main parts to clean. Right. Meanwhile, over on the Slowstar AI, although it is a screenless design machine, it is more of a typical screenless design machine, which in my opinion is the first generation screenless design machines. The first generation screenless design machines had a screen that didn't have the stainless steel holes. It basically just had slits, and then to make the other side of the slits smaller, they basically put the slits into the juicing bowl, so that when you put these 2 parts together, then we have similar slits as it would appear by putting these 2 parts together, right? In addition, so this gives you an extra piece to clean, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. In addition, this screen is kind of neat because it actually has holes at the top that may, on an initial crush of something like oranges, allow juice to come out the top, which is kind of cool. Whereas all the juicing on this screen happens all during this bottom half, which is probably a good 80% of the juicing screen. And then on this unit, you can see basically only about less than half of the juicing screen is where the holes are, where the juice is going to come out. So although this has a longer run, this has more opportunity for where the juice could come out because the slits are a lot longer on the Hurom H70 than the Slowstar AI. So in addition, let's talk about cleaning. When you're done juicing the Hurom H70, you guys just got to clean out this bowl, which basically just has the sides, and you just spray it out and the pulp comes out easily. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, once again, first generation, you guys got a bowl, but then you got all these nooks and crannies in the bottom of the bowl where pulp could get stuck. This is what slowed me down in my original unboxing video because there was a lot of pulp stuck in this bowl when I was needing to clean it, which added time to the stopwatch when I was cleaning it. So that wasn't my favorite. That being said, I'd rather clean the Slowstar AI than a juicer with a juicing screen that got a scrub like most of you guys still have today. All right, so with that, next up, let's go ahead and compare the actual juicing bowls to find out their differences. All right, so on the Slowstar AI, the juice comes out over on this side, and then the pulp comes out over on this side. That being said, you can assemble this front or backwards so that the juice could come out on this side and the pulp could come out this side, depending on how you have your counter set up, which is kind of nice. That being said, this makes it long so that you have to have a longer counter to fit all the catch cups and everything. Meanwhile, I prefer the design of the Hurom H70 that actually comes out at a right angle instead of the complete opposite side. So on the Hurom H70, the juice comes out here. You have a little level gauge that you can close the spout to see the level kind of increase. And then, well, I guess at the top you should open it up to let all the juice out. Now, keeping juice in the bowl can help reduce the amount of foam put into your juice, but it could also reduce the yield that you're going to get because literally as the juicer's juicing, it's swimming in kind of like wet juice while it's trying to extract juice at the same time. So I prefer to leave the pulp cap, this juice spout cap open most of the time, and then the pulp comes out over on this side on the Hurom H70. And then on the Hurom H70, you can lift this, clip this latch, and then it opens up, and you guys can see you could easily clean it. And then same thing on the Slowstar AI. You basically do this latch, and then it opens up as well. So you guys can see these are both open at this point for cleaning. And yeah, so on these parts, I would say the Slowstar AI definitely will take you longer to clean because of all these tines and nooks and crannies. So if cleaning is your most important factor, then you definitely want to go with the H70 because it'll easily save you 20 to 30 seconds more and not have all the pulp stuck in between all these different harbage areas, I will call them, inside the juicing bowl. So yeah, otherwise these machines are very similar. They're both easy clean designs, which get my thumbs up. And they're a little bit different. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually perform. So, first let's go ahead and assemble these. I'll say they're both very easy to assemble. The Hurom is probably a bit easier because literally you just put the two-piece auger together, drop it in. So to assemble the H70, you're going to take the hopper, and then there's a little line that says unlock and lock, 2 lines. You're going to line that up with a line on top of the juicing bowl and line up the line with the unlock. And that goes on top, and then you're going to turn it to the lock position. And then you are all assembled and can take and drop this on the Hurom motor base. On the Slowstar AI, a little more complex for process. You have the juicing screen you need to drop in. It goes any which way. It's pretty easy. Then you take the juicing auger and the processing blade, drop that in, make sure it fully seats down. Then you're going to go ahead and take the hopper here, and you need to line it up with the little open and close padlock. So the little line here is lined up with the open. then you shut it to the closed position. You can shut this down, and then you can lift up this and then drop it on the Slowstar AI. Always the handle will be towards the front of the machine. I have the juice coming out over on this side, and you can see the amazing, brilliant display. You know, and let's stop there. I mean, this display is really nice. It's probably at least as high quality as your cell phone display. That being said, to me, if the AI stuff works, that's great, but you know, I look at this as like, oh, this is another thing to fail. The screen could go out, it could fail. On this machine, it has just a simple button that turns it on and off. And yes, buttons on juicers have been known to fail in the past, but you know, I think a touch screen, nonetheless, you know, could be possibly more likely to fail. But only time will tell. And in any case, both these machines have a full 15-year warranty on the motor as well as all the juicing parts. So first up, let's go ahead and see how loud these machines are. I expect the Slowstar AI to be more quiet because it runs at as low as 32 RPMs. So we got my decibel meter here. Let's go ahead and put it into AI mode and press the start button. All right, so we're averaging about between 60 to 63 decibels on the Slowstar AI when it's running. It'll basically vary the noise because of the RPM it's going, and this I was running it in AI mode and empty. And then over on the Hurom H70. On the Hurom H70, it's a solid 67 to 68 decibels. So, you know, not much louder, a few more decibels louder, which I don't think makes a huge difference. I mean, I know some of you guys may be sound sensitive, so you're definitely going to want to get the AI if that is you. For me, I care about performance and what is going to perform better. That being said, before we get into juicing performance, let's go ahead and learn more about each of these juicers, all right? So, the thing is, the Slowstar AI, the main thing that I have against it, honestly, is where the juice comes out. This is actually quite low. You guys could see over on the Hurom H70, it comes out at a much taller point. So this means you're pretty much locked into using the collection juice catch cup and the Pulp cup that comes with the Slowstar AI. Common catch cups and things will not work for you. I mean, I did find one that'll work. I'll show you guys in a minute. That being said, I do like the higher port on the Hurom H70. I could put literally a 32-ounce wide mouth mason jar underneath it to catch my juice, a quart at a time, or even nice tall glasses, which is like I, you know, make for breakfast, all right? So that's something that's very important to me. Another thing is the size. So you guys can see this is the side view of the Slowstar AI, and this is the side view of the Hurom H70. We're gonna go ahead and measure these. You know, I know a lot of you guys may have challenge with counter space. So if we measure the Hurom, this direction, we're running about 7 inches for the base this direction, and then if we're going this direction, we're about like at 6.5. So 6.5 by 7 is the footprint. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, we're running at about, approximately 8.5 inches one direction and approximately 7 inches or 6 3/4 inches the other direction. On the height of the Slowstar AI, it is about 17 3/4 inches, and the Hurom H70 is about 17 1/4 inches. So although the juice spouts are lower, the machine is a little bit taller, and larger than the Hurom H70. So if counter space is at a premium, I'd say go with the Hurom H70. It takes less counter space, and also due to where the juice comes out, it's not going to be quite as long, whereas the juice comes out on both sides. So now you're going to have a lot more counter space to hold all those catch cups, all right? I guess next up, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and get these machines set up for juicing and do a produce weigh-in, and then let these juicers go to town to see how long it takes to juice in each machine, and more importantly, how much pulp is put into the juice and how much juice yield we actually get. All right, so as you guys can see, we're all set up and ready to juice. First step is let's go ahead and do a weigh-in to make sure we have a fair fight. Today I'm juicing pineapple, tangerines, purple cabbage, and some jicama. And you guys can see we have 1,900 grams, even Steven. So next up, let's get juicing in both machines. All right, guys, so you can see we're all set up and ready to juice the even amounts of produce in both machines. I do want to let you guys know that today I am juicing into basically the Anchor Hawking glass measuring cups. They measure up to 4 cups. This is the best catch cup for the Slowstar AI that I found because it will fit directly under the juice spout. Also, I am using a sieve so we can see how much pulp is put into each juice. I'm also using the same exact catch cup, so we have a fair and square fight on the Hurom H70, although we could put something in even taller. I am also using the same Anchor Hawking to catch the pulp out of the Slowstar AI because it does allow me to catch more pulp than the just standard plastic, catch cups that are included, which I'm not a fan of. Generally, I don't like to use the catch cups included with the machines. I always like to put my juice in the glass whenever it comes out. All right, so first up we need to load up the juicers. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up each hopper until it's full, and then I'm just going to go ahead and feed in the rest of the produce as it's going so we can get a real analysis of how long it takes. So first up, let's go ahead and get some of this produce into the Hurom H70, and this has just been randomly mixed up. Always best, guys, when you guys juice, always juice some kind of root vegetable. It's always going to help out. That's why I have the jicama in here splattered amongst the different ingredients. All right, I was able to fit a pretty good amount into the Hurom H70 and get that lid shut. Next up, let's go ahead and load up the Slowstar AI, and because the lid doesn't go up all the way, it does make it a little bit more difficult to load it up from the back side, as I am doing right now. So despite the Slowstar AI having a lower published hopper size, it appears I fit in maybe a little bit more produce than the Hurom H70. This is actually quite interesting. Let's go ahead and close this up. And it barely closes. I guess both of them have like a maximum fill line, which actually I filled it above that, so don't do that at home, all right? Next up, let's go ahead and turn this machine on. We're going to go ahead and put it in the AI mode, and then I'm going to go ahead and press the start button there and turn on the Hurom H70. But first up, we need to start the stopwatch. So we'll hit start there. It's going, and we'll hit start. And both machines are now off to the races and juicing. The Hurom H70 is running at 60 RPMs, and the Slowstar AI already making lots of noise. And the juice coming out there, the juice coming out there. And it's going to vary the RPM. So basically, we're going to come back at you when everything is all juiced up. And I'm going to just go ahead and keep loading this up as machines are going through the top hole. Alright guys, so basically first to finish was the Hurom H70. Looks like it took about 5 minutes and 45 seconds for the H70 to finish. The pulp stopped moving and there's pretty much no juice dripping out. Very slowly, we're going to let that finish up. This was going to overflow, so I actually have to put the other catch cup on there. This one doesn't look like it's going to overflow yet, but let's keep going. Alright, so the Slowstar AI is pretty much just finished. It's about 7 minutes. I heard it was going at a slow RPM when it was basically kind of grinding things up, and as soon as pretty much it emptied itself, it sped up to a higher RPM. That could be an indicator that it's time to shut off the machine. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the stop button. And when you hit the stop button, it'll basically auto reverse for a second and then cut itself off. We could go ahead and then close that spout cap, and then let's go ahead and compare the juices that we made with each machine. All right, first up on the Slowstar AI, looks like we basically filled up this catch container. It's pretty full, almost overflowing. We did catch a bunch of the pulp as it came out. I will say that definitely the Slowstar AI produced less foam than the Hurom H70. Although there appears to be a very good amount of pulp in the sieve here. So basically I'm going to go ahead and let this strain out, just tap out and get all the juice out, and then see how much pulp we are actually then left with. Alright guys, so pretty much got all the juice through that sieve, and this thing is like just filled up to the top. So didn't quite estimate how much juice would be made that well. Next up, let's go ahead and see how much pulp was put into the juice with the Slowstar AI. Alright, so pulp in the juice. Slowstar AI. 41.6 grams of pulp from the Slowstar AI. Next up, let's see how much pulp was put into the juice of the Hurom H70. So for that, I got 2 collection cups. And first up, let's go ahead and get all the juice out of this. All right, let's go ahead and see how much pulp was put into the Hurom H70. Let's go ahead and tear this out again. All right, we're zeroed out on the scale. Let's go ahead and check the pulp. .6. So it looks like the Hurom H70 put 5 grams more pulp in the juice than the Slowstar AI. So I mean, for all practical purposes, I would say that's pretty much about comparable. Next up, let's go ahead and check the yields, which is going to be a little bit interesting today. All right, guys, so next up, we're going to go ahead and measure which juicer made more, and I need measuring cups that are larger than these, that have precise, accurate scales. So for that, we're going to go ahead and pull out these Blend Tech containers. These are my favorite because they have accurate measurements on the sides in ounces and centiliters. So we're going to go ahead and once again pour both these strained juices into each of these containers. Let that drain out. And we got another one right here, same exact one. And if I could pick this up carefully without spilling, because it is so full. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's go ahead and pour the Hurom H70 juice into the container here. And did it make more than the Slowstar AI, Tribest latest machine in the slow juicer market, said to have AI technology to extract up to 15% more juice and put less pulp in the juice, which actually in this case it did. It put 5 grams less pulp than the Hurom H70. Let's go ahead and look at close-ups on which of these machines actually made more juice. All right, guys, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the juices and check it out, man. This is so interesting. These machines are pretty much neck and neck. Crazy. So over on the Slowstar AI with AI technology, looks like we got a straight up 40 ounces of juice. If we go over to the Hurom H70, once again using the same sieve, filter the same amount, looks like we got maybe about 41 ounces of juice. 42 is the line there, and it's about halfway between 40 and 42. I would call that 41. The thing I want you guys to notice is look at the color difference. This is quite interesting. It looks to me that the Slowstar AI juice is a few shades darker than the Hurom H70 juice, which is quite interesting. So either it oxidized more, which I don't believe is true, or it actually pulled out more nutrition because it actually ground up better. So next up, let's go ahead and look at the fiber or the pulp left from each juicer. So you guys just saw it in the yield test. It was so close. The H70 made 1 ounce more. You know, for all practical purposes, you could consider that a tie. And of course, on the amount of pulp in the juice, they're also very close. You know, this one put 5 grams less pulp. But now, next up, let's go ahead and compare the pulp that was ejected out of each machine. And this is a little bit interesting to me. So if you guys could see the pulps out of each machine, which pulp looks darker, right? That's interesting to me. You know, which one looks darker? Well, the Hurom pulp looks darker. You know, why is it darker, John? Well, that's because maybe it left more of those pigments from the cabbage in the pulp than it put into the juice. That's also why the juice is a little bit lighter in color. So you have a darker pulp, a lighter juice, and then the Slowstar AI showing that's actually, in my opinion at this point, does a little bit better job at grinding. It made the pulp a lot more lighter in color, and it made the juice a little bit darker, actually getting more nutrients into your juice. So that's actually quite interesting. So yes, you know, there is something to this AI technology. Was it like leaps and bounds above current technology? Definitely not, but definitely it's a solid performer. So this is very interesting. You know, I mean, both of these pulps, I'm not going to do the squeeze test because they're both, you know, pretty much similar in the dryness because we had pretty much a similar yield and there's leftover pulp inside each machine. So I'm not going to weigh the pulps to tell you which one weighs more because that may not be completely fair. But what I do want to do for you guys next is I do want to show you guys what's left in each of the machines when you're done juicing. So here is the H70. Here is the Slowstar AI. So, you know, last time I did juice in the Slowstar AI, I did carrots and tomatoes. And when I did carrots, there's a lot of carrot pulp like coming out of the screenless design. And look, here's a little bit more juice in the Slowstar AI. Do we have more juice in the Hurom H70 as well? Yes, we do. So that's probably pretty much fair. But nonetheless, like less pulp was shoved through the screen in this case. Looks like to be optimally designed. And the other thing I didn't let you guys know about earlier is that on this juicing bowl, the bottom of the bowl is raked, always to go down towards the spout. And it has a pretty nice rake to it. I wish more juicer companies would do this. So I do like that design a lot. And so yeah, not much pulp was put in there. But I do want to take apart this machine and show you guys how much pulp. Whoa, there's a piece of a tangerine that was like impaled and did not go through the machine. I mean, normally I would shove this down, but I want to show you guys actually what really happened. And then of course, inside the hopper, right, we do have a fair bit of pulp stuck on the sides. Like, you know, in my opinion, a good amount of pulp that if you're juicing at home, you'd want to swish that down. And you know, this is what I've seen. A lot of machines are not optimally designed to literally suck the pulp or all the produce into the juicer to get juiced. It may stay in the juicing bowl. Now I want to show you guys what's left in the Hurom H70. You know, this is the design that I feel is best in getting everything in to the juicer. And to compare these two guys, if you guys look at those two, right, you guys can see which one has more, you know, residue or, you know, unjuiced produce inside the chamber. You know, this is without me going in there and pushing it down, just whatever's left is left, right? And yeah, the H70 still has some, but the Slowstar AI has even more. So maybe if all this produce went into the juicer, maybe it would actually made more yield. So that'd be actually quite interesting. In addition, of course, on this processing blade, there's no pieces of impaled produce. Of course, that is a random fact. It may or may not happen. And then next up, if we pull out this auger, we can see what's on the auger we'll need to clean out. And it's actually fairly clean with some residue on the top of this piece here. And then on the auger on the Hurom H70, you guys can see that we got a little bit of pulp at the bottom, mostly clean on the auger, and once again, a little bit pulp on the top. Once again, if you want to avoid pulp on the top, you always want to hold back some jicama or some other kind of root vegetable and feed that in when the juicer's done juicing. Put a root vegetable, and that'll help the softer things like the greens or the fruits kind of get in because it really grabs onto those hard root vegetables and grinds it up and then sends it through the machine. And in the Hurom H70, this is how much you'll need to clean when you're done. Just a few, you know, remnant pieces stuck to the walls. And then over on the Slowstar AI, you not only have this juicing screen, which has a similar amount of produce stuck to the walls, but now you also have these tines and all this to clean as well. So, you know, although these are the easiest vertical juicers on the market to clean, once again, this took me 80 seconds previously. This took me 60 seconds previously. No scrubbing required, right? You know, the Slowstar AI will take you 20 to 30 seconds more, which in the scope of things is not a lot compared to scrubbing a screen on all those other stainless steel design machines that, in my opinion, nowadays are outdated. All right, guys, so final part of this episode. go ahead and taste test each of the juices, see if I can discern any kind of measurable taste difference. This is the Slowstar AI juice, getting taste tested. Nice sweet juice. Definitely not tasting any fiber. That would have all sunk to the bottom, and I didn't stir it up. So be aware of this. I mean, for all practical purposes, you don't really taste any cabbage. I taste like a tad bit of the tangerines, a little bit of the pineapple, and it's a very nice neutral, but not overly sweet juice. So this is something you guys should make, because definitely we want to be juicing and focusing on the vegetables, not necessarily the fruits. Just put enough fruit in there so you actually will drink the vegetables. All right, next test up. Let's go ahead and taste test the Hurom H70 juice. To your health. Once again, I mean, a pretty good taste. I really can't discern any difference between these. They both taste really mild, and both definitely delicious. So at the end of this episode, what I'm going to tell you guys, I mean, basically the summary is this. So the Hurom H70 came out about 1 year ago today, and the Slowstar AI came out literally this year. So what I'll tell you guys is that, you know, the Hurom is literally setting the bar in the industry. I mean, they are the manufacturer, make this machine with their latest and greatest technology. They actually also make many juicers for other companies with older screen-based technology. So I'd encourage you guys to avoid the screen-based technology, because moving forward 2026 and beyond, we want to go with a screenless design, because they are easier to use, easier to clean, and can perform quite well these days if you get the latest designs. Both these machines are literally within 1 ounce of each other. I mean, can I say the Slowstar is garbage because it made 1 ounce less? I cannot say that. I could say, hey, the Slowstar AI did a great job. It even put less pulp in the juice by 5 grams. Both these machines are basically priced at at the same price point, actually, and only depending on the coupon codes that are currently available will the price be more or less depending on what is happening. In most cases, they may be the same price, although generally Hurom has better promotions than Tribest from what I have observed in the past, so you're going to probably get a better deal on the Hurom H70. If extraction is important to you, then I believe the Slowstar AI may pull out a little bit more of those valuable nutrients in the produce you're juicing. How much more? It's really difficult to say. It also definitely put less air into the juice as it was being made, so that could be a positive thing as well. It does have the AI technology, which is, you know, to me still yet unproven. This is only the 4th time I've used the machine. The first 2 times were juicing carrots and tomatoes, which did great. And then the sorbet, which both these machines will make, which actually did great. Actually, the Slowstar AI, I would say, is better for sorbet because it really kicks it out fast than the H70, which did take a little bit longer to process the sorbet, probably due to the opening size, which was optimized for juicing, not for making the sorbet. I do really dislike the lower catch cups sizes that you can use, despite this machine being taller. The catch cup size is really a hindrance because I do like to juice large volumes at once. Another thing that I didn't mention is that the duty cycle on the Slowstar AI is only 15 minutes. That's how long you should use a juicer for, according to the instruction book, and then let the machine rest, right? Meanwhile, over on the Hurom H70, the duty cycle time is 30 minutes. That being said, I've used the Hurom H70 an hour or even longer in some instances without any problems, without it shutting off on me. That being said, you know, normal, really good quality brushless DC motors should have an infinite runtime if they have a properly designed fan. So that definitely does concern me on the Slowstar AI machine that has a short 15-minute duty cycle, which is enough to make a couple glasses or 2. But if you want a bulk juice, then the Hurom H70 would be a better way to go. I guess in the end, which one will I declare the winner? Well, you're going to have to wait until I give you guys these promo codes to find out. So if you guys want to get the Slowstar AI at the lowest price right now until the end of the year, December 31st, make sure you guys use the coupon code DJX at Tribest.com. Link is right down below to use the DGX promotion code and you're going to save 30% off. That being said, after December 31st, you guys can use a coupon code DJ for 10% off the Slowstar AI model. If you guys want to buy the Hurom H70, make sure you guys use the coupon code FAST because the Hurom H70 juiced faster than the Slowstar AI and even made a bit more juice. And that'll save you guys the most money on the Hurom H70. At present time, I think it's going to save you about $105 until the end of the year, December 31st. After that, that coupon code will work for a minimum of 10% off. So, you know, if you apply these best coupon codes right now as this video is airing for the first time, actually the Slowstar AI is $75 less than the Hurom H70, which is still a lot lower than all the other machines that are out there that are in this price range. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is that the Hurom H70 is made in South Korea. And, you know, Tribest formerly made all their high-end juicers in South Korea as well, where the best slow juicers are made, in my opinion. That being said, Tribest did go to China to get their Slowstar AI juicer made. So I want to thank you guys who will use my coupon code because it allows me to buy my produce, pay my light bill, pay my amazing video editor so I can get these videos up for you guys and show you guys unfiltered how each juicer performs and give you guys my expert assessment so that you guys can decide on the right juicer for you. Other influencers out there, they may be paid off by one brand or another and they're only promoting one company's juicer. I promote all the brands out there so that you guys know the best machines and can always make the best purchase decision, the one that's right for you, the one that you and your family will use more to make more juice, to drink more juice so that you guys can get healthier. And that is really why I am still juicing today myself. So thank you guys for using my coupon codes. That not only will you guys save the most money because my company is called Discount Juicers and I founded it to save you guys the most money, but more importantly also educate you guys about juicing and juicers and the truths out there because so many companies want to literally pull the wool over your eyes, in my opinion. So at the end of this episode, which of these machines am I going to declare the winner? This is like so close. I think I declared a tie in one of my videos. This was not a tie. Clearly the H70 made one more ounce, although it did put a bit more pulp in the juice. You know, I'm going to have to declare the winner, the Hurom H70. Why am I going to declare that one the winner when it was so close with the Slowstar AI? So number one, I like that it's actually easier to clean. There's less nooks and crannies to clean out than the Slowstar AI. Number two, yes, it did make 1 ounce more juice, but that's not really a big deal to me. What is a bigger deal is that Hurom factory has been making small appliances for like 50 years now, and this is their latest and greatest design. They have lots of money invested in R&D to make the best juicers out there. These motors in these machines are time proven, and I'm confident they'll last minimum 15 years because that's what they're warranted for, but they probably should easily make it to 20 years like many of their Hurom made juicers I've sold 20 years ago are still operating today. So, you know, my money is literally on the tried and true. Of course, if you guys are into the new technology and got the latest and greatest iPhone and want the AI thing, then the Slowstar is a great bet, especially if you guys want to save the most money because right now, using my coupon codes that I previously mentioned, this is $75 less overall than the Hurom H70. If you don't mind a bit more cleaning, if you can funnel that stuff in, maybe you're going to make the same or maybe even a little bit more yield and probably get a little bit higher quality or, you know, nutrition juice because it did appear to extract more pigments and actually put less air into the juice, although it did take longer to juice as well. So once again, I always share with you guys the pros and the cons and let you guys figure out what factors when you're buying a juicer are most important for you so that you guys can make an informed decision. And no matter what decision you make sure you guys use my coupon codes. You'll save the most money and the companies will share with me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys. And I want to know, what do you think? After watching this whole demo, which of these machines would you buy and why? This will also be good for the companies to see what factors are most important to consumers because hopefully in the future, both these companies are going to even bring their juicers up to the next level and even make more yield, make it easier to juice and easier to clean in the future, and hopefully one day there'll be AI juicing robots that you can just say, hey, juice my vegetables. They'll wash it and juice it and do everything for you, and even vacuum save it. That'll be a good day. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode comparing the Slowstar AI and the Hurom H70, my current favorite machine, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. Also be sure to share those with other people that are still using those old juicers that have the juicing screen. They have to sit there and scrub. It's time for an upgrade. This is 2026 now, and now the screenless design juicers are here to stay. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes I have coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning or what new juicers I'll be unboxing on my channel to only enhance your health. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check the past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 900 episodes at this time on the channel dedicated to you guys all about the best juicers and other kitchen equipment to process your fruits and vegetables and other plant foods the best way as possible. Links down below to my favorite videos I made in the past with the Hurom and the Slowstar AI, including their original unboxing videos and many videos on showing juicing many different items in the Hurom H70 and how it does. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.